Great morning, everyone. How you doing? Hey, Tanya, thanks for joining. Mo, thanks for joining. Hey, Mom, great to see you. Yasu, thanks for joining. All right, so usually we're standing and doing postures, and movements without doing the alternate expression of them, which will be sitting down. So there's two versions of Qi Gong, Night An and Wide An, which is standing and sitting. So I want to practice a sitting version today because it's early in the morning for some of you all. You're probably watching me sitting in a chair trying to do it anyway or in the bed. So kind of doing a practice where when you wake up in the morning and even before getting out your bed, you can start your Qi Gong practice in a lotus pose, or you can come on the side of your bed, put your feet flat on the ground, and start a practice like that versus having to physically get up and do the moves as well. Just giving you a variety of postures so you can continue to do something, which is better than nothing, all right? So, all right, let's get started. So for those who have bad knees, I don't encourage, before stretching or working on loosening the knees and the IT band, the abductors and the calves and just the lower extremities, the hamstrings and etc., doing lotus pose. Because if you do lotus pose, a lot of people sit in that for a little bit of time and they start feeling this pull and the tendons begin to ache. That means you need to loosen those tendons up. So you need to do more stretching, which is a Qigong and a yoga practice, and it's just a physical fitness practice as well, before getting into that lotus pose. The lotus pose is actually if you have too much tightness in the areas around the knee, it's going to actually cause it to go worse because you're kind of bending that joint, right? We're taking it and we're bending it like this. And if this is too tight, it's pulling, it wants to pull and open, and we're forcing it to stay. So what the body does, it starts to knot up to protect that muscle area. And we don't want that to happen, all right? And so before we start as well, we want to bring circulation to that area. And for those who've been with me for a long time, we know how to do the backward hacks, right? So let's start there. Let's pat on the sides of the hips, down the IT, the sides of the thighs, down the sides of the legs, come on the inside, up the inside of the legs. Let's come around again, back down. Let's focus on the breath. Breathing out, coming down, and in, coming up. Hey, Gujuli, thanks for joining. Nice to see you. All right, let's come in the front of the thighs. Tap the front of those shins. Then let's come to the back of the calves. Move to the edge of that chair or wherever you're sitting. If you're in your bed, don't worry about getting the back of these hamstrings. All right? I would prefer you sit up and put your feet on the floor. But for us lotus pose people, we're going to get back into a chair on the floor. If you also have a yoga pillow, or it's not a yoga pillow, it's a meditation pillow, I recommend that. It causes you to lean forward, and it naturally causes your spine to want to tilt into the proper posture because of that tilt of the pelvic area. All right? So I'm going to sit in my keyboard chair. And just so you can see, it has no back. It's only just a little bit of room here, right? So it takes some time, it takes practice to like be able to sit in this chair and balance like that. All right, so for our lotus pose, we're going to call it the lotus pose posse. Get into your lotus pose, okay? Or half lotus rather. If you do full lotus, half lotus. I feel in certain situations that the half lotus allows my chi to flow a little bit better than full lotus. So I'm going to do, in this chair, half lotus. For those who don't understand what lotus pose is, when you see the legs where the feet, this is half lotus, and then if I was to put this up like this, that's full lotus. You see both the feet on top, okay? It's hard to do if you're not flexible. All right. For those who are unable to do this, remain seated in a chair, at the edge of the chair, feet flat on the floor, your legs are a little bit far apart. And what we're going to work on is a silencing of the mind practice today. All right? We're going to work on some breath work, some centering, and then we're going to silence the mind. Because I've been talking for the last couple of days about the Yi leading the Qi. So how does that happen? It happens when you are in a meditative state, meaning a state of focus. Meditation is the state between being fully awake and fully asleep. It's the in-between state. And the reason why a lot of cultures celebrate this meditative state in regards to higher consciousness is because we're able to receive willingly, because we're half awake, right? And then when you sleep, you're just receiving stuff, right? But you're not willingly bringing it into fruition or asking for it. So we're able to receive willingly through the half awakeness, the consciousness that we receive when we're in deep sleep. So when we go to sleep, there's this consciousness that happens. Even our dreams are forms of consciousness. It's telling us, to face our fears. It's telling us, things we need to work on. It's giving us intuition. It's telling us, it's sometimes even showing you what's going to happen once you start to get into dream interpretation. So to access that wisdom in that deep sleep state, right, that we receive when we're not so active and, very sensory. We're into our senses when we're awake, so we're looking at everything, we're making decisions or whatever, so we can't slow the mind down to consciously receive things. So that meditative state is very important, and that's why it's celebrated to be in that state, to receive that consciousness. And while we're in that state, via Qi Gong or yoga, that causes us to be able to allow the Yi, the mind, to control where we want the energy to go. It controls how we want to move the body. It controls the breath. Now, in light of what I said, the awakening and the sleep state, those are different brain wave states. So we have different states. We have alpha, beta, theta, gamma, delta, right? So we want to be in a state of where the breath rate allows a certain breath practice per minute that keeps our brain in between total awakening and sleep. Okay? So there's this alpha and theta, and then in between that thing going on there. Alright? And what that allows us to do is, as we allow the breath to control the mind, then the mind controls the energy and the breath is moving it. Alright? So that's our practice. Hey Rosetta, thanks for joining. Hey Alon, thanks for joining. So for you all just joining, if you're in the bed, that's perfect. If you can do lotus pose, half lotus, get in your lotus pose, or if you can get on the floor, get your meditation pillow, or you can just do it on your yoga mat, or if you can't do this, I'm not saying everybody has to do this. I want you to sit in the chair, on the edge of the chair, no leaning back. We want our bodies to be strong, resilient. So we're allowing our bodies to hold our posture up. So I want that spine straight, the back straight. You know, push the butt out a little bit. There's a little hump in that back, right? We want to keep that there. Well, not a hump, but indentation. Hey, how's it going? Vini Stare. I can't see because the phone is really far. Thanks for joining. All right. So for those who are able to do a half lotus or full lotus, whatever makes you comfortable, then let's get into that posture. All right. So now let's begin. Let's place the left palm in the lap, face upward. The right palm inside of the left palm. Let's connect the thumbs. Turn the thumbs up towards the heavens. As you do that, stare up into the third eye. Now, the focus or the focal point is going to be breathing in that Qi, pushing it down towards the stomach. And when you breathe out the Qi, the breath, pulling the stomach back in towards the spine. Stare up into that pineal gland, in between the eyebrows. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, and in, 2, 3, 4, and out. Slowly pull the stomach back. 4. Breathe in, slowly inflate the stomach. 2, 3, and then the 4 is totally full. Out, pull the stomach back. 3, and the 4 is totally empty. Breathe in, relax the shoulders. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. Let's breathe in, bringing the right hand. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3. The stomach still going in and out. Breathe in, left hand. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, right hand. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3. Bring that stomach back towards the spine. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. Again, in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. Again. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. Place that left palm back in your lap, right palm on top of that. Connect those thumbs. Let's breathe in, bringing the shoulders up. Pushing the stomach out with that breath. Bring the shoulders back, out. All those shoulders to sink. You should feel a rush of energy coming from the neck on down the shoulders and the spine. Let's breathe in. Bring the shoulders up. Push the hands up. Pull them back. Feel that rush of energy coming from the third eye all the way down through the body when you do that. Let's breathe in. Awesome. All right. So we just did our centering practice. We're going to go a little bit over 5 minutes today. I just want to get our mindset right for the day so we can remain calm and focused and allow the Yi, the mind, to control the Qi. All right? So right now, we're setting the intention. We're quieting the mind. Today's session is about quieting the mind. In setting that intention, we're not setting this intention and saying, you know, today I have some work to do. I'm going to do this, and I have this. No. Our intention is going to be the breath. How am I breathing right now? Am I breathing through the chest? Meaning, on the inhalation, is my chest moving forward and not my stomach? And on the exhalation, is my stomach coming back towards the spine? Or on the inhalation, am I pulling the stomach in, which is the wrong way to do it? Because it doesn't allow the breath to fill up the stomach. So let's focus the mind on allowing the breath to go throughout our bodies. Down towards the lower dantian and then distributing that Qi throughout the rest of the body. Alright, let's breathe in. Pulling those palms up with the thumb connected. Let's turn it down. Palms up. Pull water. Allow that water to shower down to the lower dantian. Let's pull that water up into the middle dantian. Pull those shoulders up. Point those elbows out. This is a gentle medical Qi Gong practice. But just like water, which can be very gentle, the duality of that gentleness can be very destructive as well. Water can tear things up. So it's not about having this powerful, aggressive vibration. Like Bruce Lee say, be like water. That's what we want to be. We want to be fluid. We want to flow. We want to be formless. We want to conduct energy. All right, breathe in. Right now, let's pull those hands out towards the sides. Relax the shoulders. Point the palms forward towards me. They're going to be like this. Let's breathe in. Point the palms down. Breathe in. And this is going to look like we're flapping wings. There's a crunch as we pull that stomach back towards the spine. So there's going to be a slight bend forward on the out breath, or rounding of the back. Sync the breath with the movement. The inhalation should continue slowly until you complete the posture. When the hands get to the top here, that's when the stomach's full. The exhalation slowly coming out, and the stomach's completely empty when the hands get to the bottom. Rise up. Descend. Just bring those hands right closer to the body, left in front of there. They're not touching, they look like that. Let's breathe out. Let's face the palms towards one another, the left on the bottom, the right on the top. All right? Let's practice this stillness with the Qi ball right now. So what I want you to do is to close your eyes, but leave them a little bit open where you're staring at the tip of your nose. So you're looking down towards the tip of that nose. And as you do that, you focus the breath, that inhalation, filling up that stomach, exhalation, pulling that stomach back towards the spine. And for me, automatically when I do that, that Qi ball fills up on the inhalation as the stomach comes out towards it, and it decreases and deflates as the stomach comes inward towards the spine. Stay staring at the tip of that nose. Let's switch directions. Inhale. Take that Qi ball, bring it up towards the heart center, the middle dantian. Let's breathe in, pulling the shoulders up, point those elbows out, bring that Qi back towards the head, and allow the elbows and the shoulders to drop. Still holding that Qi ball, breathe in, raising the Qi. out, allowing that Qi to go back down through the body. Breathe in. I remember reading, let's continue this, keep going, I'm just going to talk while we're doing it. I remember reading about, the creation of Qi Gong and how this yogi came and introduced the concept to these monks at the temple by the name of Damo. And I had sent off to receive from China some Qi Gong instruction on that form, which is called the 8 brocades, the original form of Qi Gong. And it's a very simple form, but it's just the first practice of it. Very powerful practice. And I remember getting the DVDs. I still have them. I just found them when I moved. I'm going to go back and go through them. But what was crazy about it is, after doing medical Qi Gong for years and I got the DVD, I just thought, after watching it, right, it was this guy in his lotus pose on his meditation pillow, and he was just sitting there still. And the first thing that came in my mind was, I've been gypped. I bought this 4 DVD package from China, right? And there's no movements. There's like one movement and a person's just sitting there still. I was like, I don't have to pay for that. I can do that just, without paying for it, right? But then as I began to get into more of the study of understanding, the power of the stillness and being able to achieve that is actually instrumental to anything we do in life. What I always tell people is, like I talked about being the actor and playing a role, right? But the great thing about life, as I see it, like a movie, right? Everything I do, even record music or whatever, it has a cinematic edge to it because I'm envisioning in my mind this story, and it creates a storyboard, and I'm creating that whole concept, right? So that's what we are. We are manifestations of our creations via these stories. But what's great about life is sometimes when things happen that causes us to be sidetracked, or they pause, or quote unquote fail, and then we have to take a time out or a break, that's like hitting the pause button. And what I find in that practice that I just spoke of, with the 8 brocades by Damu, is that pause button is not just pause in the movie, right? And you just see people freeze, like, and then you're able to think, okay, what's the next move? And there's several movies like that as well. How the Matrix was, how things slow down, right? You're able to slow life down, but pause and stop. But in that break, or that what we assume is time, we can actually go into deep states of consciousness and pull out the information we need to proceed. So sometimes that happens either via our free will to do it, which is why we are doing this Qigong or yoga, or life is going to give you that. Your body's going to time out. When you're not listening to your body, you're not listening to your mind, it's going to be so many things that's going to go wrong, and then you're going to get a time out. And in that time out, what do you plan to do with it? Face those palms down. Left palm in lap, right palm inside of it. Connect the thumbs. So, what I learned from that practice, because they were saying, well, it takes people 1 year to 2 years to be able to do this brocade practice properly. And it was just a guy, just imagine you getting a thing and a guy just sitting there like this. in a deep meditation state. Now first thing we're going to say, okay, yeah, holding your arms out like this, that can be a lot of work. But paying for a package to come in to have a guy hold his arms like that was like extreme for me. But it's not the holding of the arms, right? It's the focus. It's the Yi, the mind control over that Qi, giving you that energy to hold those arms. And then, as they were explaining in this practice, and yes, today I'm going in, like the last couple of days I've been going in, we need to get more of the philosophy behind this practice versus just doing the 5-minute moves. So, sorry if you all have to run to work, I understand. You can watch this later. So, in doing this practice, they were saying how it starts. So what you have is, you have the mind, right? And you're envisioning, like I said, when we're doing this practice, envisioning you're in a bubble and you're pushing that Qi out inside of your bioelectromagnetic field, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. That is what's happening when the monks are doing this. They're cultivating their Qi, or just doing any type of Qi Gong practice. But in the 8 brocades, it's about cultivating that Qi via the mind. You see, and they're just holding it there. And being able to control holding those arms up for hours, not even moving an inch. Because your mind, the Yi, is controlling the Qi, your physical body. And that's just like in yoga, same thing. The asana part of yoga, which is a small part of it, is about that. It's allowing the mind to control the body. Uh-oh. I just got a low battery, so tell me if the mic went out. Hey, how's it going, Yogi Mom? Can you all hear me? Okay. All right, so in that practice, it was instrumental. They talked about how we talk about the macro and micro. Okay? Seeing this energy inside of us. And then it actually just slowly just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And over years of that practice, you begin to transcend not only the human body, but your energy becomes so connected with what I was talking about, this electromagnetic field, that you actually are not the body no more. Because your mind has left completely. Your energy has left. Because you stay focused on that intention. And when I say that, it's kind of hard to see because we say, well, I'm embodied in this body, right? But we're talking about energy, right? So there are several tests people can do to test energy outside of the body. We are conductors of energy. For even people who say, I don't believe in this energy, things I can't see, we are conductors of energy. That's why we get electrocuted if we are not grounded properly when other energies are around us. Also, there's tests where there's light bulbs or these different things we can touch and we make it glow. Or batteries. Sometimes you can touch the lead of the lead of a positive or negative and put a battery in or whatever, and it'll have an effect on our bodies. And that's because of the water inside of us that causes us to be electrical. So we're electrical beings. So when I say being beyond the body, we have to look at that thing we call the soul and the spirit, which is energy, right? And that energy can exist, and it does exist everywhere. So in that practice that Damu was showing the monks at that time, who they had the meditation down, but they didn't have a physical practice, a good physical practice. They just meditated all day and ate, you know. So that's a serious meditation practice, but then it began to become out of shape. So in including the meditation with a physical practice, it aligned them to strengthen the body, the mind, and the breath and their energy. So that was the thing behind that series of DVDs that I bought. And I'm going to go back to it and check it out and re-enhance that slow stillness practice. And that's what I wanted to share with you all today, is being able to be still and seeing the value in that versus movement. Movement, yes, it's great. I know we want to dance, shake, and all of whatever, but imagine if your movement is fluid with that higher consciousness, or that mind that's in high control, not just the music. Because we can move to the music, but you're moving to the music and you're tapping into this other states of consciousness while doing that. And that's what happens when we dance anyway. When we're beginning to get into a rhythm, the rhythm takes control of us, right? We say that. Music takes control of me. But in this society, we have a lot of music that you don't really want it to take control of you. The grooves might be good, but the intentions behind it are not so good for the organs and for the mind. So we want to build up our vitality to be able to be in those environments and move, not just to music, but when I say moving throughout life, but also have that strength inside the mind to be in control of our actions, of our thoughts. And like I said, we are all actors playing parts. How do you want to show up on your role today, tomorrow? You know, how do you want to show up in your family? How do you want to show up in your relationship? What do you see yourself as? And once you begin to influence or make that impression inside of your mind, and then it begins to influence your actions, that energy rubs off on other people. You know, if you're aggressive, you're going to make people aggressive. So as soon as you come back, even those people who are aggressive over time, they're going to pull back. That's just how energy works. All right? So I'll let you all go today. I just wanted to talk about that. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. You can take a look at the video again if you have time. It looks like we're about 40 minutes in. I wanted to spend a great amount of time with you today. I'll be performing tomorrow with the monks. So see you soon. Tomorrow we'll be back on at 7 a.m. And next Wednesday, November the 1st, I'm doing a DJ set if you're in Chicago at Sleeping Village, which is located on Belmont. I'll be posting something up on Instagram probably Sunday after the monk performance. So thank you all for joining me. Love you all. Let me look through the comments before I go. Yoga Mom, thanks for joining. Hi, I am Renzazi Zen Monk. Pay attention to the head to be in line with body. Yes, yes. Thanks for that. So how do you get that chilling with the monks? Yeah. So the important what said about aligning the head with the body. So when we're doing it, and Michael, thanks for joining. Sorry. So when we're doing that, we are our shoulders relaxed. We're making sure the back is straight, but you want to kind of make sure the head is not leaning forward or back, right? And to do that is not only looking straight, but what you do is push that chin back a little bit. Not like, but you just bring the chin down towards the chest a little bit. Not like that. It's just a slight little boom. And then you just move it back. And just relax. And you'll know when you get it, because it's going to feel like your whole body's aligned. And that helps with the breathing. It keeps the spine straight. And that's what's important. Keeping that head in alignment allows the spine to remain straight, and we allow the kundalini and the chi to spiral up and down that body very efficiently. It's like a hose. You want that hose to be straight, or you want it to be like, with curves and knots and things like that. All right. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for hanging in. I love you all. And let's seize the day with this silent mind, this quiet stillness state. All right. You are in control.